That is a monster. This is the base for any mass gainer for me. Definitely banana and peanut butter. I also love Vivo Life protein, just add a bit of protein. Berries. I don't tend to eat my berries. I love adding frozen berries to smoothies. It just makes it colder, adds a lot of flavour, a lot of antioxidants. Dried fruits makes it very sweet, but also very dense. And then rather than adding water, I add some kind of plant milk. So here you've got it, the recipe for success. Hi warriors, it's Hanne here, and welcome back to another video. Today, eating 5,000 calories on a vegan diet to show you that 1. It is possible. 2. Meal planning can be really beneficial, both on a regular and a vegan diet. And 3. You can gain weight, whatever diet you're on. I hope this meal plan, this video, gives you some ideas of some fun recipes to try out, and it gives you some insights into how to gain weight as I share my best tips. I'll be trying out this meal plan for the very first time ever, so I guess this is a bit of a sample day of starting a new meal plan and how I would personally go about that and adapt it to my needs in order to keep it sustainable, fun, and make it work for me. So if that sounds like your cup of tea or your smoothie, stick around. On this particular day, a 4,000 something hundred calorie meal plan, I'm starting my day off with buckwheat pancakes. As I've got a feeling that this will take a really long time to make, I'm actually starting with a smoothie beforehand as I get a little bit of work done, and then I'm getting to the pancakes. As I said, the meal plan is 4,000 something hundred calories, so I'll be trying to add calories to the actual meal plan. Hence, the smoothie. A great way to start the day. See you for my next meal. A smoothie is the perfect solution when you're making something complicated and time-consuming, or when you're on the go and may not even have time to eat or may not have time to eat at your regular times. Of course, I will suggest having a smoothie with a meal rather than instead of a meal, but if there's no other option, having something is better than nothing. So if I were to have this as a proper meal, I wouldn't just have the banana, the peanut butter, the dates, the flax, the berries, oh, and there's mango in here too. But I would have probably added some oats as well, some more carbs. But I've also tried in the past adding oils and other quite dense foods to it. Not my favourite, but something like avocado, if they were ripe, could definitely have worked too. So, nutritious, in line with any weight gain goals, and delicious. A weight gain meal plan is good for weight gain, much needed in recovery, but also in terms of adding consistency to your day and to your meals, something that's useful in regulating your hunger cues, getting back into a healthy routine, keeping you energized throughout the day. So as I always say, a meal plan can be counterintuitively a great way to build up to eating more intuitively. And no, this is not an exact science. That is a monster. I don't think my maintenance calories are 5,000 calories, so this is a big jump. So build up gradually, don't just go straight into this. But I have been trying some of the batter as I was preparing, and I can tell you that it is delicious. I love how it's got fats from the fat I fried it in, peanut butter now, and it's also got some flax as an egg. It's got lots of carbs. It does have some fruit, but dried fruit, and then just some berries for freshness, without being overloaded with fruit, and it's really just focused on density, as it should be at this time. Obviously later on you can focus more on getting more veggies in, getting more fruit in, overall health. But if you need to gain weight, well, that's the healthiest thing you can do. Find a plan online that looks fun, that looks sustainable, and then make it even more fun and even more sustainable with your slight tweaks. Build up to it, take your time, find things that suit you, combine different plans, do what you must. Today I chose for this plan just because, well, I was subscribed to the Veganuary newsletter, this came up, and it looked bomb. I'm not gonna lie. I chose this meal plan purely because the recipes looked fun and tasty and new. Variety is really important to me. I don't think I could keep up with something if it was the same thing every single day. Also, the meals required some planning. This definitely did, but this was something I was curious to try anyway. But not all the meals do, and for me it's really important to have some meals where more effort may be required, like at dinner time I really don't mind. But other meals where I can just throw it together in a matter of minutes, eat, and get on with my day. Whatever preference you have, bear that in mind when you choose a meal plan or when you work with a dietitian to set up a meal plan. Also bear in mind that whilst this took some time, and other meals might take some time, some things are quite easily meal prepped. So if you make a pasta for one night, make it for 2 or 3 nights, and that saves you some headaches later on. You're welcome. Final benefit of this particular meal plan for me is that it doesn't require any calorie counting. It just tells me what to have and when. During my eating disorder, I would have really appreciated that, just to be told what to eat and when, because it takes the anxiety and the stress out of that decision making, and for me that was one of the hardest things. I also like the fact that with this I can replace certain things, but if you're not at that stage, or if you feel like the eating disorder would drive the decision, stick with the plan exactly as it is for now, before you embrace that intuition again. It's not something that's going to come right away, you've been suppressing it for some time, so don't expect it to be back right away. Anyway, my pancakes are getting very cold, so I'm going to enjoy this meal. Enjoy your increased portions, push yourself a little, but if you are absolutely stuffed, have a smoothie or a milkshake to make up for the calories if you can. But don't make the process so unenjoyable that you absolutely start detesting food. Right, let's turn it that way for you. You can see the depth and enjoy that. Yeah, I definitely think I could probably do with about half of this, and at least 3 times the amount of peanut butter. And that's how I would be getting my calories in if I were to continue this meal plan. Obviously, meal plans are a little bit of trial and error. If I were to continue with this meal plan beyond this one day, I would probably make some changes. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to eat all of these pancakes, especially after the smoothie, but that is okay. I think it's a matter of building up to your meal plan, but also adapting based on your needs. I'm just going for the toppings at this point. So I can't eat many more pancakes. Oh, and a bit of dried fruit there. Oh! If you're struggling with an eating disorder, don't give in to the eating disorder, but try to find a bit of a balance. What's your best weight gain tip or trick? Asking the expert here.
Ooh. Taking more calories than consuming.
Taking more calories than
Taking
consuming.
in more calories than consuming.
Great typical pay. Thank you. So I had about half, maybe 3/4 of that beautiful stack of pancakes, and I loved it. I also added a lot of peanut butter, and with a lot of peanut butter, I mean it was probably about 4 or 5 tablespoons of peanut butter and a good amount of chocolate sauce as well. So yeah, in future I would probably have a slightly smaller stack, build it up to that massive amount, because at the moment that's not amounts that I am eating. And if I'm serious about sticking with 5,000 calories, I would have to take it a little bit slower. One other thing I would change probably is to add some more dried fruit. I really love that inside the pancakes. And yeah, lots more toppings, because toppings for me are the best way to add calories to any kind of meal. Whether it be through nuts, nut butters, seeds, dried fruits, vegan cheese, margarine, stuff like that. They are, and have been, crucial in my weight gain journey. Say hi. There was a time in my recovery where I could have probably devoured this pile of pancakes easily in one go, maybe even more. If you are at that stage, try to listen to that hunger, give in to it. If not, use your meal plan as a minimum still. I've never boiled aubergines before, so pray for the best. And there's quinoa. Don't try to multitask in the kitchen. My aubergines are in the oven. I'm super excited. I've been preparing them literally all morning. I definitely think that some meal plans require a bit more time and effort than others, but I'm super excited. I top them with some cheese as well. Weight gain hack, top everything with cheese, especially if it's going in the oven. I can't wait. The actual meal plan says that I should be having this with some kind of salad, with a tablespoon of oil. Instead, I've put the oil on the aubergines when they went into the oven. I'm not a big fan of bulking up on the raw vegetables when I'm trying to gain weight, just because it leaves me unnecessarily full. So, we'll see. So we just had dinner. As you can see, it's still light outside. This is probably the earliest we've had dinner in ages, so I'd get a little bit of nice lighting for the video. Unfortunately, it was backlighting. Dinner was beans, 7 falafels, but they didn't have falafels, so it was some kind of vegan meatballs, 2 bread rolls, because they didn't have pita bread either, and then over half of a tub of hummus. Technically, I needed to eat half the tub of hummus to comply with the meal plan, but obviously I'm aiming for 5,000 calories rather than 4,000 something. And hummus for me is just something that's really easy to eat. I can normally really easily finish a whole pack. However, I have to admit I didn't listen to my hunger fullness cues that much. Because of the earlier meals I had, I just wasn't as hungry, but I wanted to finish what was on my plate anyway. So now I am a bit uncomfortable, quite full. My tummy hasn't been great since the pancakes. I'm not quite sure why. I think it's just been quite a lot of fibre for me. And obviously I just looked up vegan meal plan rather than eating the sort of recovery meal plan or whatever. So these are things I would definitely bear in mind when making changes to the meal plan to make it more sustainable for me. My body is not asking me for these amounts. I am not that active, and even during my recovery, for the majority of it, I didn't need these quantities because I was resting. I did not move during my recovery, so I was probably around 3,000, 4,000 calories. This has been an additional 1,000 at least. So yeah, I am just gonna have a rest tonight. I was thinking with the early dinner it'd be great to have that space of time for a good dessert. But I'm not 100% sure I'm going to be getting to dessert. If I don't, I'll have it tomorrow. I'll let you know what it is. And I'll let you know my weight gain hacks with it as well. Anyway, weight gain hacks for dinner. Hummus is your friend, or any other full fat products. Never go for the low fat options. Also, cooking with oil. Those balls could have been made in the oven, but I fried them up. And I think another tip, which didn't exactly work out for this dinner, is to cook your vegetables. I found that eating these peppers raw added a lot of unnecessary bulk to the meal, which normally is not my vibe. I personally prefer cooked vegetables anyway, so that's what I'm going to be sticking to. Anyway, see you for dessert. I am gassy, I'm bloated, I'm uncomfortable. I feel really nauseous, like genuinely to the point of feeling sick. I'm getting goosebumps. And I don't know if it's because of those pancakes. It's sort of after those pancakes that I started to feel a little bit off. Or maybe the amount of peanut butter I put on, because that much peanut butter, it was quite heavy on my stomach. Or maybe it's something that I ate yesterday. I'm really not sure. I'm on my period at the moment, and I know that my tummy around this time is just always a bit extra sensitive. If you experience that as well, definitely let me know. I don't know if that's something that's just, unique to me, but I feel like that's definitely been a bit of a trend. But I'm not feeling super great. I am also not feeling super great for not doing my challenge exactly the way I wanted to, because I want to show you that eating these portions, eating this food is perfectly fine, and I somehow feel like I haven't really succeeded in doing that. But I am going to honour my body and hopefully in that be a role model in taking things slow. It is 9:30 now, and I'm going to watch a bit of YouTube, read my book, curl up into a ball and go to bed. That meal plan was bomb, which is why I'm still a little bit bummed that I didn't manage to do it all in one day. I couldn't stomach, pun intended, the idea of dessert, and I felt awful. It will be uncomfortable sometimes, especially when you're pushing for weight gain. That's the way it is. Try to keep pushing. Also know when to be gentle on yourself, with a cup of mint tea, a hot water bottle, and an early night. Anyway, time for that ice cream, which I promised. We've got one massive tub. I'll be finishing that off because, well, if I have a bite of it and put it back in the freezer here for a bed and breakfast, I will be murdered. But I'm not just gonna have plain old ice cream, am I? First off, it's not a whole tub as prescribed by my meal plan. And second off, would this video really be worth it if I wasn't adding a weight gain hack to it? And this is a hack, I promise you, that you're gonna wanna try. It only takes as long as it does to thaw your ice cream sufficiently to eat it. So there's no excuse not to do it. I am well excited for this. So yes, weight gain can be uncomfortable, but it is also necessary. You may be gaining weight, but you're also gaining your life back. It is worth sticking through that discomfort to get out the other side. Keep pushing through, and if you have any of your own weight gain tips, definitely share them below as well.
Make sure you subscribe to keep up to date with any upcoming videos and to support the channel.
So yeah, all of these meals were great, definitely within my reach, within my preferences. But if this isn't your cup of tea, find something that works for you. At the end of the day, what's sustainable is what works for you, not just today, but in the long term.